Hello everyone, I'm Bonnie and welcome back to my channel Sublime Sagas. So today I'm going to be just walking through my first book haul for November 2021. So these books are just ones that I've gotten gradually throughout the month. Most of them I either got discounted or they were just on sale. Target was doing quite a few sales that was like buy one get one half off, or like buy two get one half off. And then some of these I got secondhand through Thrift Books, which if you guys don't know about that site, it's a really great site to find things secondhand, and they always have like a variety of conditions you can choose from. So like me personally, I prefer the ones that are like marked very good or like new. They even do like ex-library editions as well sometimes. So it's a great site to check out if you're looking for specific editions to complete your collection. So the first book that I will talk about, I kind of stacked them all from smallest to chunkiest just for stacking reasons, so I'll just go down the pile so they're gonna get chunky. The first book that I picked up was Bangs by Sarah Anderson. This book I've just been hearing great things about. Everyone that I know that has read this has been buzzing about it, saying only good things. Literally all I know about this is it's a graphic novel, and it says right on the back, little black flap here, it says a love story between a vampire and a werewolf. So I love this edition. It's like cloth bound and just this stunning bat lady on it. She's serving, and it also has black sprayed edges, which I just think looks so sick. Let's take a little peek at the art. It just looks so stinking cute, and I heard it goes by in a breeze, so I am excited to check this one out. I'm really hoping I will love it as much as everyone has been. I likely will pick this up soon, being that it's such a short little one. The next book is one of the books that I got from Thrift Books, and that is Shades of Earth by Beth Revis. This is the concluding book in the Across the Universe trilogy. I've been like slowly reading this trilogy probably since like 2016 when I read the first book. This is like, pretty standard YA sci-fi. Girl goes onto a spaceship, is supposed to be in like, like a cryotic chamber, I think it is, that like her and her family are put to sleep and put on this spaceship, and they're supposed to be traveling to a new planet. So it's supposed to be ages and ages before she and her family wake up, but for some reason she ends up waking up before literally all of her pod mates. So it's kind of a mystery of how did she wake up, and then there's also cultures on the spaceship that are just like producing everything, making sure everything's in order, and like pretty much just prepping so that everything is accessible for those people for their new planet. So there's the girl main character, and then there's also a guy who is kind of like a protege for the line that is in charge of running the spaceship, and it's kind of like how their stories intertwine and that sort of thing. So back in the day, I loved the first book. I gave it 5 stars. I read the second book, Million Suns, either last year or 2 years ago, and I found it secondhand at a local bookstore, and might have been 3 stars. I don't know, it wasn't as captivating, but I'm intrigued to see how it ends. And you know, I found this for a good price on Thrift Books and was like, why not? Because I'm all for sci-fi reading in wintertime for whatever reason. I'm especially in the mood for sci-fi during snowy season. But yeah, so don't know when I'll get to this one, but I am intrigued to finish off this trilogy, because like I said, I've been reading it too long. The next book I got, which was from Target with Fangs as well. I think I got them on sale together. It is In an Absent Dream by Seanan McGuire. This is, I think it's the 5th book in the Wayward series. Let me check that. Ooh, she got a lot of books. Okay, it's the 4th one. It's the 4th one, because there's Every Heart a Doorway, Down Among the Stickens? Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and then Beneath the Sugar Sky. And then there's In an Absent Dream. This is essentially a prequel amongst this series of novellas that's all portal fantasy about these children that all have their own special magical door that leads into different kinds of magical worlds that they find themselves in. The first book, Every Heart a Doorway, sets out the premise that that world is like our world, like just the normal world. So there is a children's home that these magical children are either sent to or they're welcome to come to when they find themselves back in the normal world and no longer their magical realm, and they kind of struggle to fit in and like retake in our world after having such whimsy and like different logic and all sorts of stuff like that. It's very interesting, and they're all super short. It's just amazing how much Seanan McGuire can squeeze into these books. And I actually have already read In an Absent Dream. I listened to the audiobook of this I think last year, and I gave it 5 stars, which is actually the only Seanan McGuire book in this series I've given 5 stars so far. I'm currently up to date on this series until the next one comes out in January, but I freaking love this one so much. It is my absolute favorite of the series. Like I said, this is like a prequel to the first book because it follows a character that is well established in that children's home that I mentioned. So it's her story of the magical world she goes to, which is a goblin market, which if anyone has studied the goblin market, which I did at my college, like that story in and of itself is like extremely compelling. So I loved Seanan McGuire's take on it and just what Lundy goes through in this. Just I adored it. Like I said, I listened to it on audiobook, so I am so happy to have a physical copy and to consume it this way as well, because oftentimes there is little illustrations in it that obviously you miss out on when you're listening to the audiobook. Like, it's still amazing otherwise. Like I said, I gave it 5 stars without the illustrations, you know? So happy to have this one. Also, I think it's my favorite cover as well of these books. Like, it's, you have like the whimsy of the tree and the lovely night lighting forest vibes, and like little orbs of light that it's like, is it like a ghost orb or wisps or what? And then of course there's always a door. So there's a door in the tree. Just, I love it. I love it. I love it. The next book I have on here was one that I found discounted through a seller on Amazon. And that is Fire with Fire by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. So this one, we'll see how I feel about this one. Okay, so first off, I did not expect it to be this thick. Okay, let me grab the first book, Burn for Burn. So this is the first book. I'll come closer. This is the first book. This is the second book. It's almost like double the size. Am I like, okay, when I do that, no it isn't. I sound very, very dramatic when I do that. But just, this is like nearly a contemporary, but then like shit got crazy and then it starts like being like, is there some magical like moment going on here? I don't know. Hence why I wanted to pick up Fire with Fire. I read this one either at the beginning of this year or the very end of last year. And I was intrigued. So I picked it up because, like, Jenny Han, iconic for the To All the Boys I've Loved Before books. So, and I've also read her Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy as well. So I found this one secondhand, so I was like, okay, we'll pick it up. And then I was like, okay, she's small, she'll be a quick read, you know? So I flew through this. I think I read this like all in one day. So I feel like the plot is a little fuzzy for me. It's following 3 different girls and just shenanigans. It's a drama moment and we're here for it, okay? Sometimes it's just fun to read a YA drama. And like I said, it got crazy towards the end. I felt like it was having a little speculative moment. So yeah, like I said, I ate this up, read it super fast. I think I only gave it 3 stars, but I was intrigued enough to pick up this one. Hopefully it improves, or I don't know. Maybe I'll have a spooky speculative moment. Maybe. Hope so. But yeah, I mean, I was shocked that this is so big for it being like essentially a contemporary. But yeah, I guess let me know. Have any of you guys read this trilogy at all? Does it get speculative? I hope so, but I'll read it anyway. Like I said, I've read pretty much everything else Jenny Han's done. So yeah. So that's with that. The next book I picked up was also through Thrift Books. I finally got my hands on One by One by Ruth Ware. So this was previously a library edition. So earlier today I spent my time removing the clear outer layer, removing the tape that they were using to keep that on. I did have to take off a sticker down here, which is still like a little tacky, but overall it came off pretty well. That had like the marking of the author's last name and the genre as well. There was a sticker back here that did have like the barcode of the specific library it came from, which unfortunately it did rip my dust jacket a little bit, so I did have to use a little bit of tape, but overall it's in pretty great condition. So One by One is so far my favorite Ruth Ware book. I listened to this via audiobook last year, completely consumed that audiobook. Like, if you're interested in this, definitely recommend the audiobook. It was so captivating. This is a wintry thriller about this production company of the majority share owners of an app that's essentially like Spotify, but it's also location based. So like you can see who's listening to what where, like, oh, someone in Paris is listening to this. But it gets even more specific as well, of like you can see the actual timestamps of when they're listening to it, like what point in the song they're listening to, so you can like listen with them. So like that's interesting. And then there's all like these different like tension dynamics between this group, and they're all on a retreat together discussing about selling their product, and they get snowed in, and hence the title One by One. They start getting killed. So it's so intriguing. Like, I will say it's not the most surprising of whodunit. Like I feel like most people have deemed this to be predictable, which I did find it to be predictable, but I was just there for the ride. Okay? I was like, I'm reading something crazy right now. We're experiencing the crazy. That's just how it is. But yeah, this one is just super fun. I've read. I'm looking at my other Ruth Ware books. I've read four of her books so far. Oh wow, I'm so silly. They literally have the pictures on the back. I have read. This is the fourth one of hers that I've read. I have read The Death of Mrs. Westaway, Turn of the Key, The Lion Game, and this one. And this one is my favorite of hers. I literally just, like, it just doesn't leave my mind. It's like I don't often reach for mystery thrillers that often, but this is the one that I have the fondest thoughts for. So definitely when I saw it was getting asked for a decent price, because I feel like these books are often way too expensive at full price. Like, yeah, this hardcover usually goes for $27.99 in the US, which I prefer to pick up my Ruth Wares when they're like marked down. Like, I think pretty much all my other Ruth Wares I got for like $8 or less when they're in like the book annex of Barnes & Noble section. So I was super happy to finally get my own copy. I gave this one 4 stars when I previously read it, and will probably reread it at some point, since, like I said, it's just my favorite of Ruth Ware's. The next one is one of my newest purchases. I went to Barnes & Noble literally the other day with my 2 best friends, and of course had to peruse the bargain books in the Barnes & Noble Annex section, and I happened to find Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, the hardcover edition, for $10. For $10. Like, I couldn't leave it there. Like, yeah, I've only read like max 100 pages of the first book, but I couldn't leave it there. I literally have Brandon Sanderson shelf right there. So, like, yeah, it's $10. Yes, I also have the other books in a different edition. I have the mass market paperback, but this one, I adore the color combos that are on it. And get this. Okay, I'm gonna take off this to show you a couple things. So the inside is a lovely color map. So that's super cool. The hardcover, the hefty, well, this is like a weapon in of itself, you know? So this lovely silver spine. There's, I don't know if you can see it, but lovely engraving. And in the end pages are beautiful character art. And they have it in the back as well. Just stunning. And it's also quite floppy. Like, yeah, this is a hefty one, but you can definitely, like, you know, just set it flat and read it. And there's also more maps and diagrams. It's just, like I said, $10. I couldn't leave it. I knew I would regret it if I left it, so I snatched it. I know my brother will be intrigued by this edition as well, because he's also slowly but surely making his way into the Stormlight Archive series. So, yes, I'm happy to add this to my ever-extending Brandon Sanderson channel. I totally forgot to say anything about what that series is about, because I barely can explain it myself. Essentially, it's a crazy epic fantasy about many different characters. There is a long-time war that's been going on, and that kind of affects more characters than others, and there's like different bonds going on, and magic systems with blades, I think? I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like even the people that are further in the series don't know how to really say what it's about, because like all the books are like over 1,000 pages, but it's Brandon Sanderson. It's epic. People say the Stormlight Archives are his best of the best, and I already love his work, so it'll be a good time. And the final book I have to share for this book haul, I picked up at Barnes & Noble, Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. Just this stunning, shiny edition. I mean, it's just the Barnes & Noble edition, but I think it's so stunning. Like, I love this gold dragon on it. It looks so good. It is the concluding novel in the These Violent Delights duology, which is a Romeo and Juliet reimagining set in 1920s Shanghai between two rival gangs, the Scarlet Gang and the White Flowers, and kind of both sides fighting to kind of claim Shanghai as their own, but then there's other things going on as well. In the first book, there's kind of some crazy, like, infectious monster that's kind of overrunning the city, and it's equally impacting both gangs. So the main characters, Juliet and Roma, kind of have to reconnect and try and solve what's going on, but they have past drama. You love to see it. But yeah, I absolutely adored These Violent Delights. I mean, I kind of expected to love it because I love Shakespearean retellings, and like 1920s Shanghai just sounds so glamorous. So like, kind of expected to love it, but I loved it even more than I expected. So yeah, I gave that one 5 stars when I read it, I believe the beginning of this year, actually. So I am so hyped for this. Literally, I read the first chapter, and it's just so good to be back with these characters, but I am so scared for the pain that is sure to come in this concluding novel, because Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy. We all know it. We all know it. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm terrified, but I also can't wait to see how Chloe Gong concludes this. Living in fear. We're living in fear. But yeah, so those are all the books that I have picked up recently. I'm trying to stack them all back into a nice stack. We'll see. Burn for burn, you don't belong on this pile. So we're ignoring her right now. Oh god. Okay, I have them on my lap. I have them. I grabbed them earlier. Let's see. Okay, I have them. Yee. I did it. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know down below. Do you have any of these books? Have you read them? What'd you think? Any of these on your TBR? Still haven't gotten to them? Is there certain books you think I should prioritize? I know quite a few of them. Some of them I said I already read, but I'm one to reread upon occasion, so if you're supporting a reread moment, let me know. Obviously, I won't be getting to the Stormlight book anytime soon since I'm still on book 1, but I guess let me know if I should prioritize Stormlight. I need to, but here we are. But yeah. But that's all I have today, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.